My next guest is in another big fight. That's typically what he's in usually. He's going to be taking on Marvin Vettori. Main event of UFC Fight Night, June 17th. It's the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, back here on the program. Jared, how are you?
I'm good, James. How you been?
I've been awesome. It's good to see you back here. I really like this matchup when they put it together. I feel like you guys are the two sort of biggest names in the weight class that haven't fought each other. Just tell me how excited you were to get Marvin as an opponent.
I am pretty darn excited. I'm glad to finally have an opponent. By the time I step in the octagon, it will have been 6 months exactly from my last fight, which is a fairly long layoff for me, but time not wasted. I was in the gym the whole time. I'm so far ahead of this weight cut, it may be non-existent, to be honest. Just a couple of workouts during fight week, maybe a lack of water for a couple of hours, and one session in the bath, one session in the burrito, and I should be on weight, ready to go. My cardio, my conditioning is feeling good in the state that I'm in now. You know, not being thick and heavy and stuff. So, come fight night, man, I'm gonna be revved up and ready to go.
Good, man. What's been the difference this camp as far as the weight cut going better? Anything different you're doing, or just things are coming together?
Just more time to chisel away the things that I need to do. Just the minor adjustments that we always make after fights and in camps. The more time I spend at the lab, the better I'm getting. So, as I say every time, man, I'm bigger, stronger, faster, and much better as a fighter. I'm still growing, I know I'm 39, a little long in the tooth, but I'm still growing in this sport, still getting much better, especially, which is a hard thing to do at the highest level. The improvements are incremental at this level, but I'm making strides, and I'm feeling great.
Good. I love to hear it, man. Let's talk quickly about that last fight in December. You fought Sean Strickland, a tough guy there, split decision victory. Just your overall thoughts on the performance, because that was a big win for you.
Yeah, it was a good win. It was a good fight. It wasn't the fight I expected out of Sean. He played. He was a little reserved in his in the action. He was sort of waiting for me to fall onto a sword or something like that. I guess guys think I'm just a big brutish guy who's going to come forward and swing big all the damn time. But I'm very measured in my approach. I just don't swing big hoping to hit somebody. You got to be there, and I'm gonna swing on you when I find you. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just a more intelligent fighter than I guess what people give me credit for, and I don't know what him and his team were thinking, that I was just gonna go in and let him do what he needs to do to catch a counter or something like that. But he played a more reserved Sean Strickland in that fight, I feel. Which, I mean, when I look back at my career, I think a lot of guys approach me that way. They don't want to get knocked out naturally, so they aren't as much of a dog in the cage as I would hope them to be. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get into a dog fight. I want to see them bare their teeth and try to take it to me. I want to take that energy and reciprocate it, so we can go back and forth and see who comes out on top.
Let's talk about Marvin Vettori, great opponent here, 19-5-1 record. Stylistically, how are you looking at this fight?
Same way I look at every fight, man. Meat to the grinder, if you ask me. I'm ready to put it on him, take it to him, show him something he ain't never seen before, make him feel something he ain't never felt before. He hasn't been finished in the octagon. I want to make that happen quick, fast, and in a hurry. So when the breath says go, I'm going to get up in his face. I'm going to put pressure on him. My output has been higher, especially after the fight with Israel. That's one of the adjustments I made after that fight, is that I got to be more present. My output has to be higher, a little bit more aggressive. And upon being better than I was in my last fight, I made those improvements. My punch output was higher in my last fight, and I want it to be even higher this fight. So I want to hit him everywhere, and we'll see how long he lasts.
Did you watch his last fight against Roman Dolidze? And if so, do you think he won? Because some people felt it could have gone the other way.
I think it was fairly close. I think Roman put the pressure on him. I think he was good and composed I think he was good at keeping his composure, utilizing some counter strikes. And then when he had some space, he was able to play his game a little bit. But Roman was a dog in there. He was trying to be the dog. The way that fight went was a lot how my fight went with Sean Strickland. Roman was the dog in that fight, taking it to him, and he took the more reserved approach. a more tactical approach, if you will. So I don't really know what to expect out of him this fight, but to be honest, it doesn't matter. I don't want to give him a chance to implement anything he thinks he wants to do or anything he's good at. I want to shut the door at every opportunity he feels he's going to have, and I'm going to just open up a can of whoop ass on this man.
There we go. I love it. Training camp, who've been some of the main guys at the lab helping you get ready for this one?
Let's see. The big guys. We've acquired some bigger guys lately. Alec Lorenz, who was in my corner for the Strickland fight. Of course, is a big guy who's very good wrestler. Been fun having his big ass trying to take me down and increasing my confidence because I'm able to work around that. Eric McConico. Eric McConico. I cornered him in his last fight in LFA. Who else? Elias. All the guys, man. We all know Ben is in there. All the guys who I've been getting rounds with. Caleb has been a really good southpaw for me to run, to play with, and just the whole team. I don't train with just a group of people. It's a team practice. We all work with each other. We all learn from each other. Bryce Meredith is in there. He has a high wrestling IQ. Mike Hamill is in there. Increasing our skills. Mario Batista. Who else? The Maniac, Marcus McGee, Kyler the Matrix is up in there. All the guys, the whole team. We all work together. We all feed off of each other and help each other grow and wherever we need. So it's a team effort. The MMA lab is in my corner.
Yeah, it's a big family from what I hear. Two names you mentioned there. First, we'll start with Benson Henderson. How has it been now that he's retired? And I know he's focused more on coaching, but everyone I talk to at the lab just raves about Benson in the gym, helping guys out. How much has that helped you over the years with his coaching?
Oh, man, he's been, instrumental in the development of the whole team, keeping the team together, the energy that he brings in, the hard work that we all have to put in. Nobody's going to outwork us. It's hard to outwork him, but we always rise to the occasion. It's a back and forth thing with us. It's a powerful thing, a powerful swirling ball of energy we got going on in there. And, Benson Henderson is one of the mainstays in there, one of the driving forces that brings a lot of people to the MMA lab. So he's still in there, getting the rounds in with us, wrestling the hell out of us, motivating the hell out of us. You know what I mean? So it's definitely instrumental having him in there.
And just the other name you mentioned, Marcus McGee. How cool was it seeing him finally get to the UFC and get that big win? I think he was an underdog in that fight.
Well, that's what they think. They think he's the underdog, but we all know the Maniac. Marcus is just a wonderful human being. You know what I'm saying? I just love his energy. I can't say enough good things about him. A wonderful family man, a wonderful fighter, just a wonderful friend to be around. Just good energy to just be around. You know what I mean? He's a good a light that shines bright in the on those mats in there. So it's always wonderful having him. And it was wonderful seeing him finally get into the big show and get that wonderful win, show some of his skills. He's only shown just, again, as a quote unquote, the tip of the iceberg. So it's a lot of big things on the horizon for him for sure.
How's this fight playing out on June 17th? You said a finish. When are we going to see that happen?
ASAP, man. As soon as the ref says go, I'm putting it on him, man. I ain't going to waste no time. Pressure, aggression, and passion that I plan on putting that I put into this whole camp, that I put into my whole career. I'm just going to let it all go in the octagon. And it's going to be fun. I want to go in there and have some fun. It's going to be, I just love the sport. You know what I'm saying? I love going in there, performing. I love training. I love growing. It's just a wonderful thing. And fight night, I'm just going to let it all hang out. You know what I mean? I want to be I'm going to be the big dog. The Killer Gorilla has returned. Better than ever. And it's going to be, it's going to be a sight to behold for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, man. A lot has happened since last time you and I spoke. First and foremost, you have a new champion, Israel Adesanya, getting his belt back, finishing Alex Pereira. Were you surprised by that outcome? What did you make of his finish over Pereira?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. You know, you can't count that man out for nothing. The world was counting him out because they look at a guy and then they'll just, you know, I don't know what they're thinking. I can't really fathom what these people think. You know, these people worship celebrities, worship people, and worship men. I can't really understand that. So I feel like anybody can be beat in this game. Anybody, you know, at any time. So Israel rose to the damn challenge. You know what I'm saying? He never, not 1 minute, not 1 second did he concede defeat, even though he lost his fight. He never did, you know, concede to that. You know what I'm saying? Accept that, and you know, he pulled it out the next time out. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a good performance. Both of those guys were going at it. You know what I'm saying? Alex was putting the pressure on him, had him against the fence, damn near ready to create a deja vu moment again. But Israel said, nope, not this time. He created a damn deja vu moment like they did in that first round. You know, him against the fence, catching him with the counter. This time he had time to put the finishing touches on it and walked away with the belt. So that was good. You know, it was a good story, you know, that they played out in the middleweight division. Alex coming in after their whole history, winning the belt the way he did was amazing. And then Israel coming back, rising from the depths of defeat, if you will. I ain't gonna say from the dead, rising from you know defeat like he did and did his thing and got his belt back. And so yeah, it gives me an opportunity to get back in there with him and do the same thing, if you will, something similar.
We got another big fight coming up. Robert Whittaker is going to be fighting Dricus du Plessis. I'm sure you're paying attention to that one. Do you think Rob gets it done, or do you think Dricus can pull it off?
Like I said, anybody can win in this game. This sport there are no hard lines in this sport, you know. But you know, Robert is a reaper. You know what I mean? It'll be hard to count him out and to bet against him. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with Dricus. Dricus is like a buzzsaw in there. You know, he doesn't get tired. He won't slow down. And I don't know. I don't think that's going to be a main event. So that's
it's only 3 rounds. Yeah, that's what's interesting. Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows how that's going to go?
Would you give Rob the edge though, just because of the fact that he's only lost to Adeasnya twice at middleweight? Did you kind of give him the edge there, or do you think Dricus can pull it off?
You know, you want to give him the edge. You know, I don't want to count Dricus out either. You know, I ain't trying to count him out either.
Yeah.
But based off of what they've both done, you know what I mean? I'd say Robert definitely has the edge in that matchup.
Yeah, there we go. Now, it looks like this is the way the UFC planned this. This is what's so weird. So Israel Adesanya is going to be headlining the UFC Sydney card. And Dana also said that the winner of Dricus and Robert will fight Adesanya. But that's kind of a quick turnaround, right? Like their fight's in July, beginning of July. Adesanya's fight is coming up shortly after that. Do you think that happens? Or do you think there's a possibility that if you win your fight, you might get another title shot here because they need someone to fight Israel on that card?
Oh, I'm getting ready. I would definitely be ready to fly to Sydney. My passport is up to date. My bags will be packed. And the way I plan on performing, yeah, I'm definitely going to be ready to step in and make it happen. You know what I mean? But who knows? There's talks of him going up to light heavyweight and, do the champ thing again. So who knows? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's funny how they made that happen. So I think that's probably what they'd be leaning to. Either he go up to light heavyweight and fight Jamal out there, or they have no choice but to put me in there because I'm definitely calling for it after I put Marvin's lights out.
How many more fights do you have left on your contract? Do you know?
I don't know. I think I have 3.
Okay, so you have a couple then. I guess, last fight was probably the first one on that new contract, so that's good.
I think, no, the Brunson fight was the first one on the contract.
Okay, gotcha. So then you'd be so then you must have had a number of fights on that contract then, if I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was a 6-fight contract. So I fought Brunson, Israel, and the last guy, Sean Strickland. So, we're getting close to renegotiating things, So,
which is good, man. You've been in this. I mean, I remember your debut years ago when you fought it. Was it heavyweight?
Heavyweight.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Sean Jordan at heavyweight. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
I fought him on the first Johns Cormier fight.
That's right. Yeah,
card. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, man. That's ages ago. Speaking of moving around weight classes, we know Alex Pereira is now moving up to 205. How do you think he'll do in that weight class? Because some people feel like, he should have been at light heavyweight all along because he cuts a lot of weight.
Yes, as they say, he's a big man. So, he hasn't, resisted the urge to go up or the calls to go up. I think that was always in his plans. So, I think the way things are playing out is pretty interesting, especially if Israel goes up, wins the light heavyweight title. That'll be more the second, third, fourth, or fifth chapter to that storyline. I think he'll definitely do well. His striking ability would definitely do well at that level. The question is, has his grappling caught up? Because those guys are bigger. You know what I mean? You got guys like who's up there? Ankalaev, Jan Blachowicz, who are some good grapplers.
Yeah.
Some good guys up there who can grapple very well. Not to mention the champ, who ain't never scared to throw down with anybody. You know what I mean? Who can put his lights out too. So.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be interesting. Well, he actually is fighting Jan Blachowicz coming up on that one of the pay-per-views coming up here soon. Do you think he has enough to defeat Jan, or do you think Jan can get him to the ground like he did with Adesanya?
I think Jan could definitely get him in the ground because Pereira goes forward. He's not a backpedaler. You know what I mean? He's not going to move around and try to be slick or anything like that. Jan won't have to find him. It won't be as hard to find him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, Jan could definitely make it happen. But, Pereira can definitely make it happen. So that's a good matchup right there. That's a really fun fight to watch.
Would you give Pereira the edge because of the striking, or do you think Blachowicz being more well-rounded would give him the edge?
I mean, we've seen Jan knock people out.
Yeah.
So, definitely Pereira has the striking advantage for sure. No doubt about that. He definitely has a striking advantage. And if Jan allows him to just get his strides going, Pereira puts him on his heels. And if he if he forces him to take a desperate shot, he may shoot right into a knee or something like that, So who knows what happens?
Yeah.
But if it goes to the ground, I think Jan definitely has the advantage on the ground. So, man, that's going to be a fun fight to watch.
Well, there's a lot of interesting matchups in your division. You mentioned Sean Strickland, your last fight. He's fighting Abus Magomedov, who has just one fight in the UFC. We're seeing now Ikram is fighting Paulo Costa. What do you make of some of the matchmaking where there's these prospects that have like a fight or two getting these big fights? Does it bother you, or you don't care, or what's sort of your opinion on it?
Matchmaking is not my concern. It's
Right.
not my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're definitely trying to develop the middleweight division. Give Israel some interesting looks. Something to intrigue him because he seems bored with the rest of us at the top of the division. Either that, or he just doesn't want to take the risk of fighting us multiple times.
Yeah.
So. But, understandably, the UFC definitely wants to develop the middleweight division, bust it wide open, because it's been us five at the top of the division holding it down for a number of years. So it's not surprising that they're doing that. I could definitely see the thought process behind it. And it would definitely, those guys can make it happen. It will definitely bring them up into the top 10 real quick, fast, and in a hurry, create some good matchups. And if they continue to succeed, then we'll have some contenders on our hands.
Well, it certainly seems like they're trying to make new contenders, I think, with the fact that Adesanya has, a couple wins over some of the guys in the weight class already. One of the names that we're hearing may come up to your weight class is Khamzat Chimaev. Is that a fight that would interest you just because of the fact that we haven't seen Chimaev fight a ranked opponent at middleweight? He's beat a couple ranked guys at welterweight, but obviously when you move up, the guys are a little bit bigger, Jared, as you know. So what do you think about that possibility of him entering your weight class?
I have thought about that possibility. I think, there's a chance that they may try to make that match up, after this next fight, since they haven't, since they already have a contenders fight on scheduled and stuff like that. That's a potentiality. But then I just saw they're announced the Kamaru Usman him potentially fighting. So
well, that's not announced. There's rumblings about it, but I don't think anything's been signed or anything like that. And I don't know personally. I have my doubts about him fighting at 170 again, right? Because he had the trouble cutting weight. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll have to sort of see how this all unfolds. But you think that could be a fight for you, maybe if if you win this, and maybe like I said, if the Adesanya gets someone else, would a Chimaev fight excite you just because of the name value, right? He's got a lot of hype behind him, right?
Oh, absolutely. That the thought is definitely not has definitely crossed my mind of fighting him and what that would be like. So yeah, man, these are definitely fun fights. It would I'm not saying no to any fight.
No, I know.
So if they called me and said, "Hey, Chimaev," I'm like, "Let's do it."
Yeah.
But right now I'm on the course. I'm on the path for the title. That's what I want, and that's what I'm going for.
Well, do you not think though, with Chimaev's hype, like let's say you beat Marvin and you need to fight someone, right? Because they're tying up the top of the weight class. At Chimaev, just with his name, that could potentially get you a title shot. Because again, he hasn't lost in the UFC. Do you ever look at it that way?
If they guarantee me a title fight, yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure. Get that in writing and say, hey, if I fight this guy, then we get some big. How do you look at that fight though? Because obviously he's got really good grappling. He's got good stand up too. We've seen him knock out Gerald Meerschaert, but it's 185, right? So it's a little bit different than some of the success he had at 170.
No, he's definitely an animal in there. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna put nothing past him. And then him with the wrestling, that'd be a fun camp for me. Because when I fight these wrestlers, camps are growth for me. You know what I mean? Those camps for me are just huge growing opportunities for me. And anybody who's tried to wrestle me has ended up on the shit end of the stick. So and those who try to stand up with me don't really last too long unless they're on their heels. He comes forward, so he's going to present himself for the things that I want best, to knock a motherfucker out, And if he tries to shoot, I got answers for that too, So that's a mountain to climb, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get over that wrestling and stuff, but I ain't scared, you know what I mean? That's an opportunity for me to grow, you know what I mean? That's like a lobster shell that's tight, you know what I'm saying? I got to grow up out of that shit, so that's what I'm here at the lab doing. You know what I'm saying? All these guys present their problems. They're good at something. And we're going to fucking work. We're going to work our asses off, and I'm going to be ready for it. So I'm ready for whatever.
Awesome.
But I'm shooting for the title.
Before we go, you mentioned before we hopped on here, your kids are going to the water park. Do you have any summer plans with the family? Obviously, the focus is on Marvin, but do you got anything planned, maybe after the fight?
We're going to be busy this summer, man. I'm selling my house. I'm selling a house. We're trying to buy a house down here.
Okay.
With the world going crazy, I'm trying to protect myself and my children from these weirdos out there. Trying to set myself up to be a little bit more self-sufficient. I want to see my family. Summertime, so I want to take my family on, to spend some time with the family, take them somewhere. We've been going to Maui a couple of times, and we really like it out there. It's a nice getaway, a good reset button to go away and then come back home to. On top of that, there's a nice gym out there that I finally found, and while I'm out there in Maui, I would love to be hitting up the gym, continue training and stuff like that, eating some good old fish tacos, sitting up at the beach, blazing on some good green, and then getting back to business when I come back here to the lab, So staying busy. Handling business and staying ready for whatever's to come.
Do you golf at all? Because I know they have good golfing out there.
No, I'm not a golfer. I'm a fighter. So,
right. Okay. Fair enough. Some fighters golf, Cormier and Gaethje and those guys.
Yeah, but I put away all those. Those ball sport games. I don't watch football. I stopped watching football and basketball when I started getting into combat sports. So, for me, this is something that I've needed my whole life. And I only got to really put my hands on it as an adult. So I'm throwing myself all the way in. I'm trying to grow as much as I can in combat sports, all combat sports. I've been dabbling with some capoeira, trying to get my body right so I can just go up, invert and do all that flippity floppity stuff. And, learning Spanish, potentially learning some transition into capoeira, and getting back to my roots, man, trying to get some African studies in there as well. So, just trying to grow, man.
Yeah, real renaissance, man, Jared. I love it. That's great, man. Before we get out of here, if there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to thank Hoga Health or Hoga Health. Hoga Health. They hooked me up with this red light thing, and this thing has been tremendous. Red light panel. I've been using it 2-3 times a day. I can feel the energy, you know what I'm saying, in this camp as we're getting closer to this fight. I can feel the energy surging. You know, my body feels good. I'm, like I said, I'm stronger than ever. Dialed in. I'm ready to go. So definitely a shout out to Hookah Health. If you guys want some red light therapy, they got some cool grounding mats and a whole bunch of other things. Hit them up. HOOGAHEALTH on Instagram. Hit them up and change your lives. Who else? As always, Crystal Council is always in my corner. Thrival is always in my corner. The MMA Lab is always, you know what I mean? They should be first and foremost. But MMA Lab is also great. Eris Sports Medicine. I've been going there for a number of years. And as you guys have seen, I'm always looking bigger and stronger and more chiseled in there. And it's not just aesthetic; it's definitely functional. The things that we're doing, coupled with Jared at the MMA Lab, who's doing my condition. I've always been ready for 5 rounds fights. You guys have never seen me tire out in there. So shout out to all you guys, to my friends, family, fans who continue to support me. You know, I love you all, and much gratitude and appreciation to all y'all. And who else? That's about it, man. To you weirdos, man, stay off of my page. You know, you guys will get blocked real quick. Y'all be tagging me in some dumb shit. Y'all know I ain't with that stupid shit, so quit messing with me. If y'all gonna send me something, y'all gonna show me something that I can grow from. Other than that, you'll get your asses blocked. You won't be able to say my name on the Instagrams or anything like that. So there it is.